Hey everybody, welcome to Chasing the Pack with Brian and Dusty. We're on episode 2. Hope you guys are having a great week so far. Dusty, how you doing today?
Man, I'm doing awesome. How are you?
Oh man, another day living the dream, buddy. We're out here. We're making it.
That's right. That's right. So, what do we got on the agenda today? We had a couple of notes back and forth that we shared, and our first topic is, I believe, coaches. Is that right?
It's about the coaches. What's going on this season? Get your entries in.
That's right. We're going to start off talking about entries. The biggest thing in cross country, getting those entries in before the entry deadline.
Yep, absolutely. You got to have it. You can't I mean, you might as well put the whole team in. It's not like track where you have to have a certain amount. Just stick them all in. Put the whole roster in that way. Something happens, you're covered.
That's right. That's right. And if the event doesn't allow it, I mean, you still can have that before the entry. And entries normally close the week of, so you have time to know which athletes are coming. And we know life happens. As a timer, we all know that life happens and things may change the week of the event. And little Amy can't make it because she's got a soccer game, and you want to put Tiffany in instead. Uh, but you need to do that before the entry deadline, just because as a timer we're setting up what is equivalent to what we used to use as a small office. Not much anymore, as everybody has tablets and iPhones and everything. But if you remember back when you had a small office and had a network and had to do that, or even at your work currently where you have your IT guy set that up, we're setting that up every morning in the dark at 3:30, 4:30 in the morning. So we don't really want a bunch of coaches coming over with a bunch of changes, especially with meets like 30 to 40 teams. That could be 2 to 3 minutes a coach. That could be an hour worth of changes before the meet even starts.
Oh yeah.
So entry deadlines, number one thing you need to take care of, right?
Oh yeah. Big time. You got to have that covered.
Uh, Another thing be the week before, parent information.
Oh boy.
So yeah, parent information. I personally, as a meet director, I like to have a tab on my website that says parent information. Make it easy for the coaches. I email the coaches a link to that. Say, hey, forward this to your parents. Hopefully, all the coaches have an app where they can send that out, or everybody's phone numbers to text it, email, whatever. But get the information out to the parents, so that they know what's up, especially those new parents that may not know, from past years' experience of going to meets. Um, but I always put way too much information on there, and I know that, but it's okay. But if the event doesn't have like an information tab or information pamphlet like I do, then the main things they need to know: where's it at? What's the address to it? Is there a charge for parking or entry? And time schedule. What time are they going to get out of there so they can make it to go watch college football for the rest of the day?
Oh yeah.
Because we all want to watch college football at the end of the day, right?
Oh yeah. Big time.
Most most of us anyway.
Most of us, true-blooded Americans. Yes, sir.
That's right. That's right. Get the burgers on the grill. Probably not the cross country runners eating the burgers, but whatever. And I don't know. I used to love them. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, the next thing is assign. Actually, I'm gonna let you take this one. Team mom or team dad?
Oh boy. Yeah, we had some great team moms and team dads when I was coaching. I think it's probably the most important part of the whole coaching aspect, as far as outside of the kids, is making sure you have a really good parent set up who can, bring bananas and waters, but also organize everybody. We had a parent tent. They had a coffee and they had all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's crucial. It's crucial to have really good parents on your side that are able to get out and help, and not just drive and do stuff like that, but also a big plus too. But to make sure they can disseminate information to other parents, because you're going to be coaching. The coaches are coaching, the kids are warming up or running or having a good time. They can't answer all the questions that their parents may have, so it's crucial to have a good parent, a team parent around to do that for sure.
Absolutely. And also kind of have one lined up for the next year. Like if you've had that team mom or dad for 2 to 3 years, you start looking at freshman parents and say, hey, you need to follow this parent around to see what's up with the morning of exercises for the parents.
Oh yeah.
Um, And for me, I always suggest, for like the timing aspect again, you know, coaches are busy coaching. They're getting the athletes ready. But if you have a parent that can assign the chips that go on their shoes with the bib numbers, or if the bibs have the chip on the back of them, there's always a roster with little Sally needs number one bib. So you make sure she gets the number one bib. So that way there's not a mistake in the results.
Yep.
Um, so team parent, big deal, big deal. The other thing, and this is probably more of, I don't know if it's a pet peeve, but it's just something that I've noticed it's changed. It especially changed after COVID. But before COVID, there was less and less coaches bringing water. Like I remember freshmen always had to grab the team tent and grab the water cooler out of the back of the bus or the van or whatever we took. And coaches aren't doing that anymore. And so what's happening is us meet hosts, we give water out at the finish line more like a courtesy, like congratulations, here's a little bit of water, to throw in your head, throw in your neck, in your face, or gulp it down real fast just as a quick cool down. But ultimately, it's one cup and get out of the tent. Uh, and
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
because we plan on number of entries. So if I have 1,000 runners, I'm going to order about 1,500 cups, but realistically, I'm only wanting to use like 100, or I'm sorry, 1,100 cups because the water is there to give to the athletes and get out, and then they can go rehydrate when they get to the team 10 area. So coaches bring those coolers back out, man, because you know we want to provide a good service for you with putting on these events, and some do, some don't. But it's also not our responsibility to make sure that your athletes are hydrated before and after the event.
Yeah.
So um, make sure let's bring the coolers back. Let's blue, orange, team color, whatever the cooler has to be. Like maybe we need to make a cooler T-shirt. You know,
I think we need to just make coolers great again. That's what we need. We got to make them great again. If we do that, everybody will have a cooler.
that's right. That's right. So we'll kick that idea around a little bit later. But but going into the hydration part of it, coach's responsibility. Make sure your runners are hydrated and have eaten before they run. Um, Last year I had to have a coaches meeting, and I never have coaches meetings before my events. But the horse park being early in the season, it's always really hot. So, and it's early in the season, so the kids aren't necessarily into the routine yet. But I'm tired of sending kids off in an ambulance. And literally every time I've done it, it's because they didn't eat and they didn't drink any water before they ran. So, literally every person I've sent away in an ambulance to the hospital at that event is because they didn't eat or drink. And I said that last year to all the coaches. I said, if they have not done that, please do not put them on the starting line. Last year was the first year, probably in 6 years, that I did not have a single athlete leave in an ambulance. Um,
Wow.
we did have one kid go down right before the finish, which that happens. We get that. Like kids are pushing themselves. So I get it. But don't let it be because they're not hydrated.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, it's crucial. It's next to shoes. It's probably the most crucial thing that we do in our sport is making sure we drink enough.
Absolutely. Um, so and this is another timing pet peeve. Um, Mistakes. So mistakes happen in various ways with results. Sometimes a parent, an athlete, a coach will put the wrong chip on their foot. Sometimes the chip won't read because it went over the mat perfectly too high in the air and didn't read. And then we have a front view camera that covers the bib, but there's a lot of athletes now that are doing this at the finish line to click that stopwatch to make sure they get their splits and times. If they could just wait till they get 10 feet past the finish line, hit that watch, then we make sure we get their bib number. And if we do that, then normally we have all the results in there. But occasionally an athlete will be missed. If that's the case, some timers like to have that information before the end of the race. Some of them just need to have the information before the end of the event. Me personally, as a timer, I didn't mind coaches coming up and especially just if they could just write it down. Sally Mayfield, 11th grade. She was about 17 minutes and 50 seconds. She was wearing bib number 1 and a blue jersey. Just the description to get us to the right spot. And then we could find them, get them in the results. The no is don't wait till the timer has everything packed up and is about to get in their car, or email them 3 hours later when you've looked at the results finally, when you've got back in your van or bus and started to head home and say, oh, so and so's missing. Because when we leave those events, because of the way technology is nowadays, we've already emailed all the resources out to the different places to have the results online, whether it be on the Timers website, Direct Athletics, Smile Split, athletic.net, like all the resources out there, they've already been sent out. So if we then have to go home, open the laptop, find the athlete, resend it to everybody, that's a pain. Like nobody wants to do that. That's a pain, and it can be taken care of before you leave the event, before the timer leaves the event.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something that I mean, we've had different issues with different results. It's something you got to try and get taken care of as soon as possible. You know, you don't want to necessarily run over to the timer exactly then in the middle of the event sometimes, but just, I mean, got to get it done as soon as possible. Make sure the results are right. I mean, I've seen a couple of state meets where there was an issue with the results and it had nothing to do with the timer. It was just the way it went. And, you know, it's hard to fix that after you've handed out state medals. So it's something you got to do. You got to
Well,
do it in a timely manner.
and that could be back on to a team mom or dad, paying attention, looking at the results to make sure everybody's in there. After a while, they know all the kids' names, so they can scroll through and see if somebody's missing. And back to that point, at the state meet, I actually timed the state meet where a girl, the coach wasn't paying attention, and we were using two chips, so one chip on each foot, and they had one number chip on one foot and another number chip on the
Oh
other
dear.
foot. They were disqualified now, and they were the state champions.
Well,
um
that's not good.
no, it was either state champions or state runners up, but the other team that was behind them graciously did not accept the award and still gave them the award, even though they were disqualified, which was pretty awesome. Very well known school, and very good coach. So uh, a lot of good came from that out of a bad situation. But with that being said, let's move on to the parents.
The parents.
The parents.
I love parents.
Yep. And if you're a new parent, watching this, it may seem harsh, but we're not trying to be harsh. We're just talking from experience as Brian being a coach, me being a coach slash timer event director. Um, but just remember that your coach is probably not getting paid a whole lot to be there and is doing it because he wants to make your student athlete a better runner. Um, at best, some of the stipends I've seen are maybe $3,000, maybe. There might be some higher, but probably more lower. And when you equate the hours that these coaches put in, because not only are they at practice every day during the week, but they're going most of the time to a track meet every weekend for 6 to 7 weeks. So it's less than minimum wage for most coaches when you break
Oh
down the
yeah.
money to the hours.
Oh yeah.
So keep that in mind when you're trying to talk to them like it's Nick Saban at Alabama. Um, it's a little different. Um, I don't think there's any coach out there purposely trying to hurt another kid. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't.
No.
There's not anybody out there trying to do that. So take it easy on the coaches. Remember, they're there trying to do their best, and some are more experienced than others, and they're gaining that experience. And you got to keep that in mind too. If you were a past runner, you feel free to let them know and make suggestions. But ultimately, they're the coach. So, they make those decisions. Um, anything you want to add on top of that as a former coach?
Yeah, we had a parent meeting every year when I was coaching high school, and I told them all, some of you are doctors and lawyers and, well respected professionals in your fields. I will never go into your surgery room. I will never go into the courtroom and start telling you how to do things. So don't come over here and do that. And I mean, I always had parents. You've always got one that's like, oh, when I was in upstate New York, we used to run up mountains. Well, what mountains are we running up down here? There's no mountains. This
Right.
is in upstate New York. So, you
Right.
always have that. I remember the parent I thought was going to be the most trouble because she ran competitively. I thought, oh man, she was the best parent I ever had. She let me do, she let me coach. She let me do what I needed to do, and she was great. And I mean, those are always the best parents, the ones who are supportive and they show up and they want to understand the sport, of course, but the ones that let you do what you're supposed to do. And that's something I think that you can't really speak enough to. I mean, I just heard a horror story today about a parent with another coach whose athlete it's just like the parent doesn't want him to run cross country because he might not be good enough to run in college, and what's the point? It's a waste, and that kind of stuff. It's such bad negative advice. It's like at some point you gotta let your kids be your kids and support them and love them, but I mean
And
they
and
gotta do what
while
they gotta
college
do.
scholarship and running college is great, also just having fun being with your friends running is awesome. And most of the time, and I hate this saying because it's kind of a cliche, but cross country is most other people's punishment, and
That's
which
true.
I don't like that, but ultimately it is. Like, you get in trouble in football, what do you gotta do? Run a lap. Trouble in basketball, run a lap. And running should be fun and enjoyable. So just parents, if you're watching this and you're new, again, we're not trying to come down on you, but just keep an open mind. Remember, it's supposed to be fun. Let your kids have fun with it. And if something happens, after 12th grade and they end up going somewhere with it, awesome. If not, it's not the end of the world. They're probably going to have great memories, as they get older of when they ran. I run into kids all the time. I say kids. I run into adults all the time, like I mentioned what I do, and they're like, "Oh, I ran cross country. I wasn't very good, but man, it was so much fun. I enjoyed just running with my friends." And that's what it's all about.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right. So the new parents, especially on this one, there are three types of parents that you will witness at a cross country meet. Some of these will be on your team. Some of them may or may not. You have your number one parent, that is the relaxed parent, there to be supportive, walking around, may go to the start line, probably watch the finish, kind of hang around the tent, won't ask a lot of questions, but they're supporting their kid. Those parents are awesome. You have your next parent, kind of your team mom, kind of your team dad. They'll make sure everything's organized. They'll be at the start. They'll be at the finish. They'll, maybe run or jog to one spot during the course or on the course to see the athlete that they're looking for, and be at every meeting, be supportive, help do fundraising, whatever you need. Those are also awesome as well. And the third, while awesome, sometimes can be a little overbearing. They will show up in their running shorts. They will have their watches on. They will be ready to get splits at every mile marker. You see them running across the field, or I've now started seeing a new trend of people bringing bicycles and bicycling across the trails. And um, that's a bit much for me. But if that's what they want to do, awesome. So more power to them, and just be ready for those because some of them can be very intense. Like
Oh yeah.
they're all about it. But ultimately, as long as they're there supporting their athlete, it's awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um, if there's a problem with timing, if there's a problem with athletes having issues with other athletes, let the coach just know. Just say, hey, little Timmy's missing the results, or hey, this kid and my kid, they're not jiving right now. Could you kind of look into it? Um, Even though coaches aren't counselors, they are. They hear everything. They know a lot of what's going on in your kids' lives. So they'll look into it. They'll report back to you, and they'll try and take care of that problem. But just that goes back to the let the coach be the coach, and don't don't try and take too much on as the parent. Like, just enjoy being the parent of the athlete. Um, you got anything you want to add on that one?
No, I think that's, I mean, it's perfect. You definitely, you want to let the kids be the kids, and you want to let the coaches be the coaches. And as new parents, returning parents, I mean, it's fun. It's a whirlwind. Cross country is very quick. I feel like the season ends fairly quickly, especially at the collegiate level. So only a couple of meets, but track is long, and so it's you're in the tent all day, getting to know people. I mean, it's awesome. It's a fun thing, I think, especially for parents, and that's how they sort of build bonds. And we have parents that have built those bonds and are so close. So I think it's a great thing.
Absolutely. All right. So moving on to another thing for the parents. This is an FHSA rule, which most people may not know. And when I say rule, it's not for just cross country, it's all sports FHSA. No pets allowed. So, as an event director, it's also an insurance liability for me. So, I don't want people bringing their pets to the event. Service animals, completely different. That's understandable. But a pet, you can tell the difference. I mean, pets are running around, um, even if they're on a leash, like they're not being controlled. And you may know your pet, but that doesn't mean that something can't happen. And I actually have a source here. I don't know. Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fast forward too fast. There we go. Again, dang it. All right, here we go. So this dog just takes the kids out right here, knocks them down.
Well, that's not good. Come on, Fido, you got to get out of the way, man. Looks like it hurt,
So
actually. Ouch.
yeah, so that happened at Flyra. So that kid was an eighth grader. This was 2022. Kid was an eighth grader, worked all season to make it to Flyra. And that was 1,000 meters into the race. So he had just started the race. He was up in the front pack, you know, worked all summer running to have a dog trip him up. And I can't remember if he broke his arm or his collarbone. I think it was his collarbone. But
Ouch.
he ended up going to the hospital. And the dog owner, while they were very, apologetic about it, ultimately it was their fault. And they just ruined this kid's entire season that he had built up for and was in the front pack because they couldn't control their pet at the meet. So we're not just trying to be rude, and another example for me is I have the Alligator Lake Invitational. The park doesn't allow pets in there either. Um, just because if you do go back into the woods, it's called Alligator Park because there are alligators back there. So that will attract them to come out of the water versus stay in the water because that's easy dinner for them. So please, please, please remember, coaches, tell your parents, parents tell other parents, leave your pets at home. Um, you don't have any examples of that, do you? Like, I'm
No, I've never seen. I mean, the only dogs that we've ever let out have been our runners. And when we get to the race, we let the dogs out, man. Who,
right,
who, who. Those are the only
right.
those are the only animals I have any expertise with at cross country meets,
I
track
got,
meets too.
I got you. All right. Well, moving on to our last group, and that is the athletes, the all stars of the show. The
Let's
reason
go.
that we do this, and so we're kind of going to go over things we've kind of already been over, and that's fueling your body, making sure you're hydrated, making sure you had food before you started running. Super important.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have dinner the night before. You got to have regular meals if you're running at all in general, training. I mean, hydrating super crucial, obviously. Not just the day of or the day before. I mean, like well in advance that your body can kind of get acclimated to that. I mean, it's just normal stuff like that. I mean, eating bananas and anything that can help you. I know we used to have a pasta dinner night, like before state meets and big meets like that. My high school coach's wife would make dinner for everybody. I mean, it's obviously team bonding as well, which is big, but you got to have the right nutrition. You got to have the right fuel.
Absolutely. Um, Number two, we kind of already gone over this as well. Bib numbers. So cross country meet, that's how you're identified. You're identified by a number. So um, bib numbers need to be right here. They need to be secure. They need to not be flapping up. They need to not be folded into a little square just so the numbers are seen. Especially now that we're moving to a lot of these numbers that have the timing chip on the back of them.
Yep.
You bend that, you break it, and then the chip doesn't read. Um, so make sure that you have them pinned to where you can see it very well, and not on your shorts, not on the front of your crotch area, not on your belly, up here, nice and big where it's not going to be blocked. And if you are one of those that has to stop the watch, stop it down here to where we can see that bib.
Oh dear.
We are actually getting these newer things called bib boards, and I'm getting some custom ones made with different Run Florida logos that we have. And
Wow.
so you'll be able to put those on, and it's pinless, so it doesn't poke
Nice.
holes in your uniform. So yeah, it's good, good deal. I think that's it with the bib numbers. We just went over the stopwatch thing, so we don't need to go over that again. Falling at the finish line. Now,
Not good.
go ahead.
No, I said not good. Not good.
No, no, and it happens from time to time. Like we understand um, going hard and falling at the finish line. We understand that, but what we don't want is for you to fall and somebody else's puke. Think about it.
Yeah.
If you're not the first race of the day, and if you're not in the top 30, chances are you falling at that finish line somewhere, spit, puke, or other things that I've seen. So just try to stay up at the finish line and keep walking. Falling down right in front of the finish line is bad for multiple reasons. First reason, other than that, being you can get stepped on or spiked from somebody coming in behind you and cause a pile up. And also, it just creates chaos in that finish line area. And as I told you in our first episode, back in my day, which man, I hate saying that, it makes me sound
Oh
so
boy.
old.
Oh
I
boy.
know. Back in my day,
Oh
uh,
Lord.
we had to funnel into a finish shoot, and you technically weren't finished at the finish line. You were finished at the end of the finish shoot after they pulled your tab and put it on a stringer. So, you guys have it easy these days with just you finish the finish, you cross the finish line, and you're done. When we crossed the finish line, we could gain 3 or 4 spots if the right people fell down. So, um, try to stay up. Try not to fall at the finish line.
No, I don't want that.
I did learn at Disney World, you're not allowed to say throw up. You have to say protein spill. So that was one of the things that I learned when we were timing the Disney meets.
Oh dear.
So watch out for those protein spills at the finish line.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not good.
Yep. And kind of my final thing, again, this is kind of redundant, but hydration. Bring your water bottle. Make sure it's full when you get there. Bring 2 water bottles. Don't rely on your coach to bring the water. Hopefully hopefully they start bringing it after seeing this episode, but don't rely on that. So bring your own water. Make sure you are plenty hydrated before you run. That goes back into the nutrition part also, but I guess it's really being more prepared as an athlete.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you're going to be an elite athlete in any sport, you have to have the right nutrition. You got to have the right hydration. You have to be on it. So this is stuff that should be taken care of now. They should be talking about during the summer. I mean, I don't know how you're surviving this summer when it's like 130 degrees outside, anyways, if you're not hydrating and eating the right stuff. So obviously during meets, same thing.
Absolutely. And that's all I got. You got anything you want to add?
No, I mean, I think that was it. I mean, drink the water. You don't have to drink the Kool-Aid, but drink the water and eat the bananas.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you do go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Make sure you check out all of our social media: TikTok, Facebook, um, YouTube, Instagram. If you guys want us to post pictures on our front page of the website, send them to any of our media outlets. Instagram is mainly what we use, but they all go towards the front page. If you want to check out our store online, we do have some shirts up. We have a lot more stuff coming really soon.
Is my
T-shirts.
face on one of them yet
Yeah,
or no?
not yet, not yet.
Not
We
yet.
haven't reached that number yet. What
We
was it?
gotta
A
get the
thousand?
1,000 likes. We need a
Thousand
1,000
likes.
likes.
Yep, on one video,
Right
thousand
here.
likes.
Big, beautiful, yes. Big,
That's right.
beautiful picture of my face, I'm sure.
And now we're working on make coolers great again.
Make coolers great
So
again.
yeah, so who knows? I mean, but we do have more shirts coming soon. The billboard's coming, and a few things that are already up there. The logos you see scrolling in the lower right hand corner, those are events that we are going to be physically at this year. We will be selling merch there. We'll be flying our drone, taking video, taking pictures. So make sure you just check out the website, runflorida.com. And we appreciate you guys watching.
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much, Dusty, for having me again. I appreciate it, buddy.
No problem. You have a good one.
You too.